The Big Issue, breaking down the issues that matter.
Hello everyone, welcome to Leadership Podcast. It is another edition of The Big Issue, and as usual, I'm your regular host. George Jagba is my name. And of course, with me here in the studio, our in-house analyst. We have Silas Ezeogu.
Welcome today.
And Paul Agbo.
It's a pleasure to be here, George.
Well, the big issue of the day is the PDP crisis, where its national chairman, Dr. Iyorchia Ayu, survived removal from office. The National Executive Committee of the People's Democratic Party in the country passed a vote confidence on Ayu and the National Working Committee of the party, NEC, which is the highest decision-making body of the party. After the national convention of the party passed the vote of confidence on Ayu-led NWC at its meeting held at the PDP National Secretariat on Thursday, the 397 members of the NEC, including past national chairman of the party, the immediate past vice president of the country, Namadi Sambo, the PDP presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, among others, were accredited for the meeting. The endorsement of Ayu's leadership signals the first in its kind in the party's history that a national chairman will be surviving a plot to remove him from office. Indication that Ayu will survive removal emerged on Wednesday night during a caucus meeting by the party. The confidence vote on Ayu is coming just as the group of governors calling for his resignation as a condition for the reconciliation with the party's presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar shunned the NEC meeting. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike, Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde, Abia State Governor Okezie Ikpeazu, and Enugu State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi were absent at the NEC meeting. Well, Ayu may have survived removal from office, but the crisis in the party still lingers as the governor of Rivers State rejected outrightly this resignation of the board of trustee chairman of the party, Wali Jibrin. Wali Jibrin resigned his position, and the secretary of the BOT and former Senate President Adolphus Wabara took over. But Wike said that was not enough because the BOT position is not a rotational one and has no impact whatsoever on the zoning arrangement of the party. And Wike insisted that if the party's presidential candidate is a northerner, then its national chairman must be a southerner. Paul, let's just look at this situation. It may seem as if maybe there is a resolution, although what really happened yesterday at PDP NEC meeting all happened in favor of the presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar. No, the national chairman is a henchman of the presidential candidate.
Yeah.
But it's not over yet because Wike is insisting that at a meet when Atiku visited him, what Atiku discussed with him was that Ayu must go, that Ayu will go as chairman. And he's looking at it as a breach of contract, a gentleman's agreement.
Unwritten
agreement for Ayu to
so
remain as national chairman.
It's unfortunate that Governor Wike, in his own right, he has taken this matter to the level that even members of NEC and NWC are confused as to how to resolve the matter. Because in politics, not everything said that is fulfilled. We know that one, even in advanced countries. And that is why there is always this opposition. If everything said is executed or as executed, then the opposition will not have a job. And that is why you find in the Australian Parliament, the British Parliament, there's these banters for and against. It's not easy to implement promises, especially made on the heels of perhaps
political experience.
Yes, political experience. Because Atiku may have made that statement just to appease, because this gentleman came second and he went to see him. He has to say something to appease. But as a party man, the way and manner Governor Wike is taking it, it looks as if it's a personal fight or a fight for the survival of the party in the South. And some people have this belief that, look, because of his deep pocket, his war chest, everybody seems to be going close to Wike. He's the darling of every politician, because, of course, the man is a very generous man when it comes to gifts. Nonetheless, they can't bring down the house. And one thing again, pundits are now saying, or analysts have been arguing, that look, Wike does not have anything to lose. That it is Atiku and others in the PDP that have something to lose, because they have a big stake in 2023. Wike is not a candidate. He's not a senatorial candidate. He's not going for anything. So why this push? Why this push? He said the role of the POT is just mere advisory role. That he wants the head of the national chairman, Ayu. He just wants the head of the national chairman. And as it stands now, NEC being the highest decision-making body of any political party, have taken decision. As a party man, why don't you respect the highest organ of the party? What is happening in Nigeria cannot be seen or heard of in countries like South Africa. Imagine the governor of KwaZulu-Natal region of South Africa. And KwaZulu-Natal is one of the most popular and well-entrenched ANC province in South Africa. You can imagine the governor of that province threatening everybody in ANC that he will bring down the party. The party should be above every individual or every member. Now that NEC has taken this decision for the love of the party, there's a lot. Wike is talking as if he does not have any political future again. He's still young. He's less than 60. He can contest for president in 2027, even in 2031. Why bringing down the entire roof? Because of certain agitation.
Well, Paul, I understand what you're saying, but I think for most Nigerians of the opinion, Silas, that the opposition party is laboring under a delusion, in a sense that its vice presidential candidate at the NEC meeting on Thursday said that the crisis in PDP is a family disagreement, that family disagreements are normal, even in normal families as well as political families. You understand? And then the national chairman of the party, Ayu, said he believes that the party is as united as anything, in spite of whatever impression other people may have. But just like Paul said, Wike seems to be overdoing it politically because the party is supreme. But should we look at the messenger and then consider the antics of the messenger and then overlook the message, which is that the right thing should be done the way it had been? Don't forget that in PDP's constitution there are provisions for zoning, and in the country's constitution there is what we call federal character. If the messenger is not conducting himself well and his message seems to be making a point. Should we overlook both messenger and the message?
George, thank you for this question and the way you framed it. Nobody can say that what Wike is saying does not hold water. It holds water. Very, very much so. What people are saying that is over-laboring the matter. Nobody has looked at it that this is a man, and he's going to promise something, and then the people who promise it. In fact, in yesterday's outburst, he mentioned instances, even timing. How many times he was told the same thing? He said at a no central leaders meeting in Bala Mohammed's house, the chairman himself, Ayu, said he would step down if Tuku Measure can come from the north. Then he also said that another place, caucus meeting of Senate, and then the Measure candidate himself, Atiku, also told him that. So these are 3 things they told him, the same thing, and those people who said it at that time are not changing their mind. So he's feeling that these people have betrayed the trust that what they told him by themselves. So when it comes to the message, nobody is questioning the message. Yeah, and we should also be. I want to recall what Paul says about politics. Not everything promised is kept. It's also unfortunate because I remember one former governor of Niger saying, "If you cannot lie, don't come to politics." So politics has reduced to a point where it is for those who cannot keep their word.
And then we should I'm not saying it. I'm not cutting you, but I'm just trying to say that if that is the case, we should now agree that because it is seen from that same politics that leaders who lead the country emerge.
It is the tunnel through which they learn.
Nigerians should be comfortable that liars are emerging as leaders to always lead.
So that's the danger. Because PDP now, we're saying you should just forget about it and go ahead. The people who are voting, remember that PDP members, I don't think they're up to 10 million in Nigeria. I'm sure if there are 2 million, I'll be surprised. Those who are registered card-carrying members of the party. And I'm sure that maybe not 100,000 paid dues. Then they are going to face almost 100 million Nigerians going to vote. They're watching.
84 million.
84 million. I think it's 94 now.
No, it's 84.
Okay. Now, you are going to face this 84 million people. Let us say that even 50 million vote. And they look at it, this party who are coming in, they have just been sold a dummy by the APC for 7 years. And they're looking for alternative. And they look at this party, their chairman cannot keep his word, the presidential candidate
cannot keep his word.
So there's also a point that they need to keep a word. And because no one has said what that Wike says is a lie. The issue is that they feel like he's aggrieved because he lost the president. Even from the point, even that zoning arrangement had been already trashed in the first place. In the first place, Atiku was not supposed to run for that election. In the first place, all the governors in the south said it's going to be good to the north, to the south. That one, they had a meeting and said, okay, the zoning committee, they threw it open. So, and Atiku emerged. So already from the outset, the whole zoning thing had been already bastardized. But now, looking from those who are talking from the south now, what are they holding on to now? How are they going to tell that people that these parties, the people,
it's credible?
No, that these parties for everybody. When
that's credibility now.
That everything is coming from the presidential candidate, the chairman, and chairman is saying, "I want to." It's not okay. Atiku say, "Okay, let's finish the election now." But the chairman is saying, "I have a 4-year tenure." So if Atiku wins for the 4-year tenure, they're going to run the election, run this tenure. The Ayu will be there, Atiku will be there, and already have given from what we can say now. They've already shaped the Senate president to Tamboa. So the president is from there, the Senate president is from there, the chairman is from there. And you're expecting the South to vote for you. So I think that the PDP, this election is for them to lose. Because APC has already done not too well. You understand that? And that the PDP position itself well, is supposed to harvest from the misgovernance of APC. But if they're now going to the election with this kind of, not able to, to me, it's a simple thing. To me, it's a simple thing. I know that Atiku wants to have his own man to run things for him. Okay, there's nothing to tell him that if another person assumes that position, the person will not work in his interest. Don't you think he can say, okay, we'll not give Wike whoever he chooses.
After all, even if he becomes president, he is the leader of the party.
It's the party. So I'm looking at that it is in the interest of Atiku to solve this problem, because what happened in 2014 when five governors, disbanded PDP, led by Amici from River State again. 5 people. That's how PDP lost. Now we have 5 governors and some other former governors who are in Wike's camp, also angry that they have been. So they may not leave the party because some of them are running for election. But if they don't work actively for Atiku, it will not help his cause. So I think that if they see the family matter, they should handle it as a family matter.
Thank you very much, Silas. Let's just quickly take a short break. We will be back in a very short while. And as we come back, we hope that our viewers will contribute to the conversation on the big issue. We're back in a moment.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Welcome back. We are still on the big issue in Leadership Podcast. And the big issue of the day is now that National Chairman of the PDP, Iyorchia Ayu, has survived removal. What next for the opposition party in the country ahead of the 2023 polls? Back to what we were saying, you heard what Silas has said, and of course, Silas has really done well to dwell on the message and not the messenger. Because, Paul, it appears your anger is directly targeted at the person of Wike and not the issues in the PDP.
Yes,
look at what PDP. Just see what. Let me tell you what.
He has not displayed.
Wait, let me tell you what he said. See what Wike is saying. He said they have today told the BAT chairman, that is Wale Jibrin, to resign. You understand? He said, who is talking about chairman of BOT? Yes, what is the role of the BOT? BOT is an advisory body. We have never zoned BOT. BOT is just an advisory body. BOT is not a decision-making body. Those who run as it is today are the presidential candidate or the president and chairman of the party. The chairman of the party and the candidate of the or the president, as the case may be, is the one who sits down to take decisions. What he's trying to say is that BOT,
it's simply an advisory.
Wike is even insinuating that Wale Jibrin was asked to resign so that Wabara will take over, thinking that will not assuage even most members of the party, like some governors who are aggrieved. And at the end of the day, BOT is inconsequential when it comes to the party. And then we still have Tambua, who today refused that he resigned. He said he has not resigned as chairman of the PDP Governors Forum. Major positions of the party are occupied by the Northerners. That is what Wike is saying.
The way things are going, it will be a fight between the PDP in the north versus Wike person. Because I don't see the fight extending to the southwest much.
With the likes of
Makinde has an election. He has an election to win. So all this one that he's doing, there's a strong opposition at home waiting for him. especially from the Accord gentleman, because he's from the Obomosho axis. I know what those people can do. So Makinde should not rely on the Ibadan call 13 local government votes at the 11. He has a battle to fight. Wike does not have a battle to fight. I know the swingers of Nigeria election are in two regions, two geopolitical regions, of course, which you know, the Northwest and the Southwest. I even expect the PDP members of the Southeast, to make more noise than Wike. One, some analysts look at it and say, has Wike even adhered to issue of zoning in the state? Look at Rotimi Amechi from the same zone as from Ekwere Upland. This man is also from Upland. Ideally, he ought to have gone back to the River Rhine, where Odili came from. But it was Wike that altered it. Nobody's talking about that one. Nobody's talking about that one. Even some of the positions of the State Working Committee of the PDP in River State, they didn't adhere to zoning. And that is why I said, not everything politicians say that have implemented. He's just taking this fight personal because he had so much hope that he's going to win the presidential ticket, and eventually he lost it.
I was also available for vice president. Yeah.
And he has made so much pronouncement that he's not going to be vice president. The evidence are there. It's out there that he is not going to. I will never, quoting him, I will never be vice president to anybody. Why is this so important or interesting now? So analysts, for me, I see him as somebody who is fighting a personal war using people of the South. There are a lot of people, PDP members in the South, who are interested first winning the election. You are just talking about national chairman. Is the national chairman the only thing available in the government? There are other big positions, SGF. There are top ministerial positions, and there are other key appointments, chief of staff. There are other appointments even in the military. Why is Wike hammering on national chairman? If not a personal war? And you want to bring down, you go on air your party, the party that gave you political life. You are dancing and making mockery of the party. Is that how to play politics? Have you ended a political career? He has a candidate that he would love to see that person taking over from him. You see, in diplomacy, there is always concession. It's give and take. If Wike had exercised patience after the victory in February, then you can start raising some of these issues. But now, the way you are going, you want to destroy the whole thing. Meanwhile, you want somebody to succeed you. You are neither here nor there.
Well, Paul, let me ask you one question. Sorry, if now you say that Wike has no election, unlike back in the day.
Yes, he has no election.
But I can assure you that most Nigerians of the firm believe that Wike has an election, because even the presidential election, Wike may work. Even within the PDP, he will work as a spoiler in 2023.
Yes,
you know that he controls the state.
He has said it now. He has said
a state that boasts of a very good number of votes.
Let me tell you, in politics,
and he has the watchers, like you say.
Yes, he has got the watchers, but he has not got the people. He can only control, to a large extent, the people of River State. To a large extent, to the people of River State. But like Lamido said, after May 29, 2023, he will be an ex-governor, and people will remind him, Your Excellency, this is what you did. So he need to speak with some level of decorum and circumspect in his approach to this matter. When we understand that, yes, he has a case, but as a party man, Wike has made so much pronouncement like a pastor of the people that he will never betray the God he serves. He has said it. I will never leave the PDP for any other party. So why now? Why now?
Because he's aggrieved. And his
And
grievances
look at it.
have not
Trace
been addressed.
most of the
He's
crises
talking
in
of
PDP. He brought secondaries, he removed
balancing
secondaries.
of the arrangement, and that the national chairman ought to have gone so that somebody else will come. And at the end of the day, there are still party members, Silas, who still believe that we can.
The issue of
has a
national
valid
chairman,
point.
the national chairman will not just resign like that. It's a constitutional thing.
Listen,
And the members of the party don't want to create this constitutional crisis.
No, see,
I think
if you say he can resign, if the president of the country can resign,
yes,
but to remove him forcefully,
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But he can, like I was saying off studio, that
at least for the interest of the party.
yeah, you know, they can
Okay, let me just
like the though when I heard that the PDP chairman was asked to go for peace, to know like he can make, you know, but that's a make weight. Anybody can resign any position if it's in best interest of Atiku's presidency, presidential success. Why not?
I think
If the man on his own said so, because the contention ahead of the convention was that okay, we have chosen someone from the north as the chairman, most likely because the presidency is going to the south. Now the south didn't get the presidency again, and then on this basis, the man said, okay, don't worry, if the presidency comes from there, I will now come down so that
the question
he didn't do that. Okay, fine. We have passed.
Some people will say where
The man has said it where and
the evidence.
we said, see, no, don't go. That one will not help us. That will not help the party because Atiku has not denied it. The Ayu himself has not denied it.
The man is just being
So that's why
aggrieved.
I know that he's aggrieved, but he has a good reason to be aggrieved.
You know, he has
And the
never
problem
lost
is
an
that grievance has not been addressed. And two, don't just say it's Wike alone. From people, party leaders from the Southwest have also said, look,
we have Benue, Governor Tom, we have Abia,
even this
we have Enugu State,
but the judge.
If
so-
Wike had not
also-
control, if Wike had no control of huge resources, with all these governors running out.
No, the thing that
State governor that is agitating.
they share his position, and of course, they know very well that what
They share his position because of the war chest.
No, listen, Paul, let's just
When you
let
collect
remain on
my
issue.
guess,
Listen, if for instance, now that they need him to win the election, they're not giving me any quotas. Is it when they come to power, they'll listen to him again? So he also considering all those things. Okay, now if now they need him to play along for them to win, they're not, you know.
they can also
Afterwards,
they can also
will they
call
listen
him
to
a
him?
blog.
So that's also part of what they're looking at. It's like, is it when they now go to power that they will give anything to the south? So that's also part of it. But the issue is that PDP, I'm surprised at the way that they call his bluff yesterday. You know.
and they might decide to go into the election without.
They can. Like I will say something.
They'll go into the
I just
election
say that
without,
they can win the election without Wike.
because they have a vice presidential
Yes.
candidate from the same zone,
They can win the election without Wike.
and not
Wike is not going to vote.
PDP will see
All the people in the south,
in Rivers.
All the people in the south or Rivers will not vote for PDP because
So,
of.
and by the time
against
PDP wins the election, then the man will have to disappear politically. He has to disappear.
Well, that is the much we can take for today's edition of the big issue. The PDP neck has come and gone, and Iyorchia Ayu is still the national chairman of the party, against the wishes of a section of the party, a camp of the party loyal to Rivers State Governor, insisting that the national chairman must go for the equation to be balanced ahead of the 2023. It is not all over. It's not over yet until it is over. In the coming days, we'll see how events unfold in the major opposition party in the country. Thank you for keeping tab with us. And of course, I thank our in-house analysts for addressing the big issue, which should be addressed. Join us same time next week, Monday, for another edition of this program. Do have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.